guys, this is Jennifer with DeVivo Realty, and today we are talking about pre-approval or garbage approval. And I had another name for that, but I decided not to post that because, we are a family-oriented company. Anyways, so yes, this is a big problem. You go online, you start shopping around, and you put in a little bit of information, you pull your credit score, and boop, out spits this pre-qualification letter, and you're like, I'm good to go, I'm ready to go. So you go on the many months of looking for a home or weeks of looking for a home, you negotiate that contract, your realtor calls you in the middle of the night and says, hey, your contract's been accepted. Then you start your inspection process, you spend money on that, maybe you're negotiating repairs, you order the appraisal, you spend more money on that, and a couple weeks out before closing, you get a little call from the bank. And your loan officer tells you that underwriting has denied your loan. And you're like, well, why? Well, we've now looked at your paperwork and we have found that, your taxes, or, that child support, or, you're self-employed and you didn't claim enough money. There's a lot of different things. People, this happens all the time. Not to my clients, but it definitely happens. So you do not want a paper that is pretty much garbage and puts you through a lot of stress, pain, suffering. I have seen couples cry over this. Personally, when I bought a house, this actually happened to me before I got into real estate, and I remember crying at night thinking, how could this happen to me? So what you need to do is your homework, and your realtor can help you with this. You need to get a good lender. So there are pre-qualification letters and there are pre-approval letters. And what's the difference? Basically, you go online to these different websites. I'm not going to name their names. You put in a little bit of information. You pull your credit report, and out spits this pre-approval or pre-qualification letter, and off you go. On this long marathon of hurdles in purchasing a home, spending money, time, and energy and emotional resources on doing that, only to find out that this pre-qualification letter is not really valid, or it's not what it says it is. So how can you avoid that? I tell people you need to do your homework. Lender needs to do the homework. Realtor needs to make sure that they do the homework and get an actual pre-approval letter. An actual pre-approval letter means that they've just not only gotten your information on an application and they've done your credit, they've pulled your credit, but you have submitted the important documentation and they have analyzed it. That documentation are things like tax returns, W-2s, bank statements, all asset accounts need to be disclosed, and then you also need to understand your cash to close. So you need to understand that you may be approved for something, but do you have enough funds to pay your closing costs, to pay your down payment, or do you need seller concessions to help you with that? So very, very important. And I'm also speaking to some categories of people, like if you're self-employed, if you work in the service industry, one of the things that can also give you a hurdle are student loans. Different things like this can come up later on in the purchase process after you have done your inspection and you've done your appraisal and you think you're closing on your home, and then the banks finally starts doing the homework. Not all lenders are like this. There are some lenders that are very, very good and they make sure they get all that documentation up front from you, but you definitely have still a very large contingent of loan officers and banks who kind of put your file on the desk, and a couple weeks before closing they start working on it. You definitely don't want that. You want an agent that's going to possibly have some lenders that she knows are very proactive and do their homework and get all that stuff up front, because it's not stuff that you would think about. It's not stuff that you know to ask about. So definitely you want to be pre-approved, not just pre-qualified. And when you go online and you're getting estimates and you're getting these different pre-approvals, you have to do your shopping. But before you get into that car, before you definitely start writing an offer on a home, you need to make sure that you've done your homework, the lender's done his homework, that you have a solid pre-approval in hand, and all of the documentation has been given, and there's no questions. It's not something that's going to come as a huge surprise or an ambush before closing, and then you're stressing out. So I hope this helps you to understand the difference between a pre-approval and what I call a garbage approval. And definitely let me know what your experiences are out there. If you have any questions, If you need any guidance, we'd love to, give you some hints. No obligation. If you have your own agent, we're out there to help you as well. So this is Jennifer with DeVivo Realty, helping you find your way home.